In our last session we understood about the select statements. So I had given assignment. Any of you completed?
Yes, sir.
Good. You got the output also?
Yes, sir.
Okay. What about others? Okay. In today's class we will start modularization. Okay, so what is modularization? It's nothing but breaking down and organizing program into modular structure. Okay, it's nothing but breaking down and organizing the program into modular structure. Okay, so instead of writing everything in single program, we can divide the program into multiple software blocks, and that software blocks can be organized later and also can be reused. Okay, the main purpose of modularization is reusability. Okay, we will see how to reuse. What are the advantages of modularization? Okay, so what are the advantages of modularization? So the first advantage is it improves the readability of the program. Okay, it improves the readability of the program. So we will also understand each and every point when we develop programs. So it also helps to develop reusable software blocks and save the development effort. Okay, so you can develop a reusable software block that can be reused by many other developers also, right? You don't have to each and every developer don't have to write the same code. It's not required to write same code again and again. It saves the development effort. Okay, by developing by helping us to develop reusable blocks. Okay, so and it also helps to develop, or let's say helps to design the application with future scope for enhancement. Okay, it also helps us to develop the application by thinking about the future. Okay, how it can be enhanced in future to make easy for future enhancement. Okay, next it also helps to break down the complex logic into smaller and easy maintenance software blocks. Okay, so later these blocks can be combined to get the final results. Okay, it also helps us to develop the complex logic, okay, into smaller modular structure. Small software blocks you can create that can be maintained easily and also can be combined to get the final result. Okay, so next is it splits the development across multiple team members without locking the code. Okay, without locking the code. So we will see how all this works. Okay, now what are the modularizations we have? We have events, then we have dialog, events block or events or dialog modules in module pool program, then function modules, subroutines, include program, methods, and macros. So these are actually absolute. You should not use them. You should never create macros because there are disadvantages, like we cannot debug the macros. Okay, so it should not be used. It's absolute. Okay, so these are the modularization blocks we have. Okay, let's understand one by one. So maybe first we will understand about include program. Okay, so include programs are non-executable programs. Okay, but and executable programs and can be called within another program. Okay, include programs are non-executable programs and can be called within another program. Okay, it cannot be executed directly. Okay, let's say for example, if you create an include program, let's consider you have creating an include program. Okay, and this include program has some lines of code. Okay, so these lines are reusable. You have kept some reusable lines inside this, so this can be called in different programs. You cannot execute that include program directly, but it can be called in multiple programs. Let's say program 1 and okay, so this can be called in this program. And again the same include program can be called in other programs also, maybe program 2. Okay, same can also be called in different program. Okay, so basically this include program helps to develop reusable blocks that can be called in other program but cannot be executed. Okay, one program, these lines, whatever the lines that you are seeing here, can be executed or can be called in different programs. Understood? This is what include program. Are we clear on this? Hello guys, understood?
Yes. Yes, sir.
So now in future, if you want to maintain or some modification is required for include program, you don't have to change at all three places. Change it here, it will affect in all the programs, right? Easy maintenance, we will see that anyways. So let's log into the system and see how it works, how to create an include program. So you have to go to SE38 and then let's say Z I set test, I include, I just put it as test include. You can provide any name, it's completely up to you, can keep any name. So I'll just say create. After that you can provide the title here, test include program. So important thing here, so in the type you have to select include program. If you select executable, this will not become include, so you have to select include program. Okay, then save. So now you see it got created. If you observe, there is no report keyword here, nothing is there, right? It is empty. So now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to write here saying include program. Okay, include program. I just do pretty printer and also activate it. I'm just writing one line of code, but we will see how it can be used later. Okay, I'll also keep the breakpoint here. You see it's saying that the main program must be generated. That means it is saying that I should call this include program in other program. So how do you call this program? Go to your program. After creating include program, just go to the program where you want to call it. So I want to call in the basic programming batch 20, and just come down below here. I will just comment all of it. And now I'll just say include and put the program name. That's all. This is how you call the include program. Okay, so it will execute the line that is written inside this. So let's activate. You cannot execute it directly, you see. If I go to include program, you can also see here this is include. If I go and try to execute this, see it's saying that it is not executable. Understood? So it can be called within another program but cannot be executed directly. So let's do pretty printer. Now if I execute this program, ABAP batch 20 program, it is going to call the include program. What are the code that you have written inside include program? It will be called. So now I press F5. You see this is the line that we had written inside include program. It is called. Understood? Understood or not? Hello?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay, it is not an executable program. It's a non-executable program. It can be called in other programs. Okay, let's say you keep some reusable lines and you want to make your program more readable, or you want to separate your program. In that case you can use this. Okay, we will also use them in our upcoming class. The next one, maybe we will understand about subroutines. Okay, so what are subroutines? Subroutines helps to develop reusable software blocks within the program. Okay, though they help us to develop the reusable software blocks within the programs. Okay, that means the include programs can be called in different programs, right? It can be reused in different programs, right, all of you? But in case of subroutine, let's say you have a program Okay, and then so what you want to do is like you want to develop some software blocks that can be reused within the program. Okay, you want to call same lines of code multiple times. Okay, in that case you don't have to uh, write same lines again and again. It's not required. Okay, so what you can do, you can keep those lines inside a subroutine, and that can be called multiple times in a program. Okay, it can be called again and again in a program like this. Okay, you don't have to write the same lines multiple times. Understood? If you want to develop a software blocks that can be reused, whatever the lines that you have written that can be reused within the program, then you can create the subroutine blocks. Understood? Understood or not?
Yes.
Okay, so subroutine blocks enclosed with form ENDFORM. Okay, and this blocks of this block of code will be called using perform statement. Okay, so it is enclosed inside a form ENDFORM, and that can be called using perform statement. Okay, so and after ENDFORM you cannot have any executable lines. Okay, you cannot write any executable lines. You can write other subroutines but not the executable lines. Okay, so let's see that in the system now. I'll just comment this. What I'll do, I'll just say perform, maybe I'll just say add underscore numbers, add num. Okay, maybe here we will declare data num1 type I, value 100, num2 type I, value 200, and one more result type I, value 300. To pretty printer. And now here what I'm going to do, I'm just going to double click on this, and see, whenever you double click on add num, it's saying that subroutine add num does not exist. Do you want to create? Yes, create. And it will also ask you for in which program you want to create. Do you want to create a new include program, or within the master program you want to create a subroutine block, or in the inside a test include you want to create the the subroutine block? I'll say that please create the subroutine block within my program. So then execute. You see, so what it is going to do, it is going to add the lines. Automatically it will add lines like this. Okay, when you double click, so you see add num, right? So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add this result equal to num1 plus num2, something like this. And also let's print it to the output result, right? So that can be called same, this block of code can be called multiple times. You see, you can call it how many times I want to. Same line can be called multiple times. Check for an error, no error, activate, and let's keep breakpoint here, and then we will see.
Sir, there's a question.
Sorry, 300 it should not be there. Anyways, it will overwrite. That's fine. Yes, please.
So why means result you already value 300,
I did it
but you
by mistake actually. It should not be
yes.
there. That's okay because it will overwrite anyways here. Otherwise, if it is confusing you, let me just go back and okay. So now you see num1 is 100, num2 200, and num result is 0. So execute. So addition of these two will be 300 and print it to the output. Again you see same lines I'm calling. Again I'm calling the same lines. Understood? If you want to develop some reusable block within the program, in that case you can use the subroutines. Are we clear?
Yes.
Everyone?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay, good. Then
So this perform keyword is for defining that it is a subroutine.
calling this block.
But we have not defined this add underscore num, right?
Means
Means
so
first time when you
what
written.
happens, like, yeah, so it is basically used for calling. When you double click here, it will take you here, right? It is taking you there, right?
Correct, it is
Because it
taking,
is
but here.
exist. If
Okay.
it is not there, what system says, you are double clicking and trying to find this subroutine block. It is not at all there. Do you want to create?
Okay.
Basically it is used for calling, but if it is not there, you cannot call, right?
Okay.
It cannot navigate you to the subroutine block here, which is exist. That's why it says in pop-up saying it is not there. You're trying to go to that subroutine block, it is not at all there. Do you want to create it? That's what system says.
Okay.
So
Now,
you
like
can
the way we
also
have
do, like,
defined.
let's say you can just write your own code like this. Let's say form subtract something like this and end form. Okay, so now later you can say perform subtract. Okay, you can also do this. If it is already there, it will take you like this here. If it is not there, then system says it is not at all there, but you are trying to navigate you to that subroutine block. You want to create it or not.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Understood?
Clear.
So now very important one, let's understand about parameter interface. How many of you are from CS background here? How many of you are from CS background? Ever heard about pass by value, reference and value on return? Or call by value, call by reference? No one from CS. Okay, no problem. So what is pass by value, pass by reference and pass by value on return? Before that, let's understand about two things. One is actual parameter and one is formal parameter. Okay, so what is actual parameter? Parameter stores uh, value, or else let's say actual value or original value. Okay, that is what actual parameter. The next one is formal. uh, it will it will store the copy of actual value, or will be pointing to memory of actual value. Okay, either it stores the copy of the actual value, okay, or it may store the copy of an actual, or will be pointing to the memory of an actual value. That is what formal parameter. Let's see that in the system now. Guys, if you see here, this num1, num2 and results are the actual values. Okay, I'll just use one. Okay, um, let's do one thing. I'll just name anything. You can give any name for the subroutine. It's not like you should use pass by value only. I'm just to have a difference in the code. I'll just say pass underscore by underscore reference. Okay, I'll say using num1 and num2. Okay, maybe I'll just delete this code, or you can also comment it as of now and write a new code. So data, sorry, num1 equal to maybe 100 I'll keep, and num2 equal to 200. Very important, guys, interview questions. So just focus, perform pass underscore by underscore value using num1 num2. Okay, and I double click on this, and it is saying not there. Do you want to create? Yes, I want to create. Please create within the program. So I created here. Okay, so now there are two things here. Here num1 and num2, these are the actual variables that you have declared, right? So these variables are the actual variables that are declared here, and value is initiated here, assigned here, right guys? This is storing the actual values. These are the actual values, right? All of you, do you agree? This is what actual parameters. These are actual parameters. Understood or not? Which is storing the real value, original value. Hello, are we clear?
Yes, sir.
So, and then if you see, there is something called some newly declared variables automatically, right? I have not declared them anywhere. They declared automatically. These two are the formal parameters. Okay, this will be storing the copy of the actual value, or they may be pointing to the memory address of the actual value. They may store copy of actual value, or they may be pointing to the memory of actual parameter values. Understood? These are the formal parameters. Are we clear? The variables which stores the original value, we call it as actual parameters, which stores the copy or will be pointing to the memory of actual parameters, will be called as formal parameter. Is this clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now let's go back and understand what is pass by reference first, maybe. Okay. So here the formal parameter and actual parameter will be pointing to the same memory. Okay, the formal parameter and actual parameter will be pointing to the same memory. Okay, so when subroutine or function module or methods or any procedure block called, okay, when the subroutine or methods or function models or any procedure block called, okay, the memory address of actual parameter will be passed to the formal parameter. Okay, it will not pass the value, either it pass it pass the memory address of an actual parameter to the formal parameter. So because of this, when any changes to the formal parameter, it will change the actual parameter value. If any changes happens to formal parameter, it will change the actual parameter value. Okay, so that is what pass by value. So now what is pass by reference? Now what is pass by value? So the formal and actual parameter will have its own memory. Okay, both will have its own memory, separate memory. Okay, so now here memory address will not be passed. Okay, whenever the subroutine block called, okay, the value of actual parameter will be passed to the formal parameter. When any changes happens to the formal parameter, it will not change the actual parameter value. Okay, because this time it's not passing the memory address. Okay, both has different memory. So what it is going to do, it is only going to change the formal parameter value, not the actual parameter value. That is what pass by value. Understood? Pass by reference and pass by value, the difference we will see anyways in the system, just the concept. Are we clear with the concept? Hello?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so now pass by value and return, it acts like both reference as well as value. Okay, initially it act like pass by value, after that it act like pass by reference. That means the formal parameter till here it is same. Okay, now when any changes happens to formal parameter, okay, it will also change the actual parameter value only upon successful execution of the procedure block, or if it is terminated by exit or check statement. Okay, exit or check statement. It acts like both pass by value as well as pass by reference. Let's see all of them. So the first one, maybe we will have perform pass underscore by underscore reference using num1 and num2. What? Why so many? I'll just keep this one below above. You can keep it anyway, that's completely fine. So the changes in the syntax for pass by value and reference, this is same, no difference in the calling statement. The only change here, you have to surround it by value statement to make it as pass by value. Okay, otherwise it is same. And next one is pass by value and return. Perform pass underscore by underscore value return using num1 num2. Okay, so here the difference is same. Instead of using, you have to use change. That is the difference. Okay, so let's change these values and initiate these values again before calling each block. Let's initiate it to 100 and 200 outside. Okay, and inside this I'll just change the value of this to, maybe I'll just put it as 300, and then maybe this one as 400. Okay, so now let's see all of them. So do pretty printer, activate the program. This concept remains same everywhere, saying that pass by value already exists. So, okay, this is pass by reference. Sorry, pass by value and return. Okay, that is the syntax difference, guys. You see, if you observe, there is no difference while calling. Okay, the difference is here. Here it is changing and value, here is using and value for pass by value, here only using no value. So let's activate and debug the program to understand. I'll just keep breakpoint at all the places, then execute. So now you see num1 is 100, num2 is 200. So I'm going inside, I'm calling the pass by reference. Okay, so what is pass by reference? the formal parameter and actual parameter will be pointing to the same memory location. Okay, that means the formal parameter will be pointing to the actual parameter memory. Okay, so when subroutine is called, the memory address of actual parameter will be passed to the formal parameter. When any changes happens to the formal parameter, it will change the actual parameter value. Okay, so let's see, p num1 and num2 is 100 and 200 as of now, because these lines are not executed, and it is pointing to the memory of the actual parameter. So this is pointing to the memory of num1 actual parameter, and then this is pointing to the memory of num2 actual parameter. Okay, the moment you change the formal parameter value, here I'm not changing actual parameter value, I'm changing the formal parameter value, but observe actual parameter values changes also. See, the moment I change it to 300, it also changed to 300. Here I changed it to 400, it also changed it to 400. Understood? This is pass by reference. Are we clear? Understood or not?
Yes.
The next one is pass by value. You see, I'm going to change the formal parameter value. Both will have different memory. You see, there is no changes to the actual parameter. This is what? Pass by value. When you change the value of actual formal parameter, it won't change the value of actual parameter because both have separate memory. Now pass by value and return. So now you see, I'm going to change it to 300 and 400. It changed here, but still you will not see any effect to your actual parameter. Do you see any changes in actual parameter right now? No, right? But only upon successful execution, or if it is terminated by exit or check statement, then it is going to change. Sorry, I should have a breakpoint here, otherwise it will go outside the program. See now, num1 even though I made changes, right now there is no effect, but after successful execution of that block, it's been updated. This is what? Pass by reference value and pass by value and return. Anybody, any doubts so far? Are we clear till now? Guys, understood?
Sir, can you repeat the last one?
Okay, so the formal parameter and actual parameter will have its own memory, like pass by value. Initially it behaves like pass by value, but after execution of the subroutine block, it work like pass by reference. That means even though it will have separate memory, even here the value of actual parameter will be passed to the formal parameter. When any changes happens to the formal parameter, it will also change the actual parameter only upon successful execution of procedure block, or if it is terminated by any of this statement. That means whenever you're inside a subroutine block, the changes will not happen to the actual parameter. Only after execution of this block, the changes will be affected in the actual parameter. Understood?
Yes. Means when we exit this program, the actual parameter will be stored.
Not the program, subroutine block.
Okay, okay. Okay, sir.
Okay,
Yes.
this is what? Pass by value and return. Any doubts so far? All of you clear, guys? Okay, good. So can we have session for another 30 minutes? We'll complete function model also today.
Yes.
All of you fine?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
sir.
we can continue.
Okay. And let's understand about the last so far we have covered this one and this one. Okay, let's understand about function models. Okay, and maybe one more topic will be left in the basic programming. We will cover it on Tuesday. Let's see. Okay, function modules. So what are function modules? Function modules, or in the short form you can also call it as FMs, are executable and reusable software blocks. Okay, so function modules are executable or reusable software blocks. The transaction code for this is SE37. Okay, so those are executable or reusable software blocks. Okay, so what are the types of function models we have? We have different types of function models like normal. We will understand the difference. Then we have RFC, or in the this is the short form RFC, or remote enabled function modules or remote function call. RFC means remote function call, and other one is update function. Okay, so these are the three types of function models we have. So what is normal function model? This function or normal function model can be called within the system. Okay, so RFC or remote function call. Okay, so these function models can be called from an external system as well as within the system. Okay, and here pass by value is mandatory. Remember, this can be an interview question. Okay, in case of RFC, pass by value is mandatory. And the last one is update function models. Basically used to update the database tables. Okay, inside this mostly we write DML statements. Okay, this function module support logical unit of work. Okay, what is logical unit of work? We will understand. LUW. Okay, these are the three types of function models we have. Okay, one by one. So now normal function model. Okay, the difference is normal function model can only be called within the system. Okay, let's consider we have maybe SAP ECC Enterprise Central Component, and we have one more system, maybe SAP CRM. Okay, Customer Relationship Management System. We have completely two different SAP systems. Okay, one is ECC, the other one is the CRM system. Okay, and here in SAP ECC you have created a function model which will get the material information, material data. Okay, you have created a function model which will fetch the material master data. Okay, so if you have created an function model in SAP ECC, that can only be used within ECC system. Okay, if you want to call this function model from an external system, that means from the CRM system, it is not possible. Okay, you cannot call normal function model from an external system to get material master data. You cannot use, okay, you cannot use the function model, normal function model, or it cannot be called from an external system. It can only be called within the system. Okay, not from an external system. Understood? This is what normal function models, or we can also say it as regular function model, regular. Okay, understood? It cannot be called from an external system. It is not possible. Are we clear? Understood, guys? It is little difficult for you also to understand now, because we have seen only one system. Even it's difficult for me also to explain. I don't have access to multiple systems which has RFC connection, by the way. That is also difficult for me. Okay, that cannot be called from an external system. Just I can picturize it for you as of now. Are we clear on this? But in case
Yes.
of RFC function model, if you create an RFC function model, that function model can also be called from a different system. Okay, in other system, and you can get the data. Okay, as a return, you can fetch the data. It can be called from an external system. As a result, this function model can be called here. Okay, in the, or else let's say instead of this, it can be called, and also results can also be expected. Okay, you can call this function model. What are the function model that you have created in SAP ECC? You can call in SAP CRM if it is an RFC function model, and this two system has, if this two system has trusted RFC connection. This is what RFC. Understood? One can only be used within the system, reused within the system. The other one can be reused in multiple system as well, and it can also be called, even though if this function model does not exist in SAP CRM, it only exists in SAP ECC. It can be called in SAP CRM pointing to ECC system. It can bring the data that is been stored in SAP ECC system. Understood or not? Are we clear? Guys, understood or not?
Yes.
Okay, so let's see. We will create both. That is the only difference. There is no other differences in the function models. One can be used within the system, other can be called from an external system. So let's log in again. If you remember, we also created a function group. Do you remember? Did we create function group somewhere in for our previous topic?
In views, I think so.
Yes, in the TMG, right?
Yes.
Okay, so you can create function group. What is function group, by the way? So function group is a container. Okay, you can keep all the related objects within the function group. In you can short form, you can call it as FG. Objects are nothing but you can keep inside function group. It can have function modules, sorry, I'll keep it here, or it can have store all the related function models, or it can also store the screens, etc, etc, etc. Okay, so that's what function group. How do you create? Let's say I am going to SE37. To create function group, you can go to here, function group, and create a group. And here let's say Z ABAP B20. I'm not sure whether we have created. Oh yeah, we have already created this. So that's all we have to provide like that. And maybe instead of ABAP, I'll just say I'm going to create a Z material master B20. Okay, so material master function group. All the objects that is related to material master, I'll keep it inside the MMB20. Okay, and I'll provide the package as the ABAP B20 and also save it in a TR so that later we can be transported. Okay, you see it got created. So to access the function group, you have to go to SE80 transaction code /and SE80. Okay, we will see more about SE80 in upcoming sessions. Here instead of package, you have to select the function group, and here the function group that we created is MMB20. Okay, so right now it is inactive. You can also see includes, it can also have the text elements. If you want to put just also put, it can also have, sorry, it can also have the include programs. It can also have the text elements related to etc. Now we can keep etc. Okay, you see, and right click on this and activate it. After creating, activate it before you use. You see it generated some include programs. One is top, other one is UXX. That means inside this include program it will create multiple include programs, and also some text elements. This is a function group as of now. So to create function model, so what you're going to use, you're going to use SE37 again. So let's say Z get underscore material underscore data underscore B20. I'll just create a normal function model which will get the material data, and after that say create. While creating function model, you see function group is mandatory. You must have to provide the function group ZMMB20. Let me put the function group, and here let's say get material master data. Okay, say execute, and now you should be able to see this screen. Okay, in the attribute section you can select regular is nothing but normal function model. The description is changed from S4 system, that means from the NetWeaver 7.5 onwards you may see new description, but in your system you should be able to see description as normal function model. Okay, so just select the normal as of now, and short description here, and some more, we will come back to this later. And now there are some tabs: import, export, changing, tables, exception. Okay, let's understand what is import parameter. So there are two things. Okay, function models can be called in the programs, right? So let's say you have a program here. This is the program that you have. And you also have function model. This is FM. Okay, both are two different objects, right? One is function model, one is FM. Both are different object, totally different. Program we create in 37. Right guys? So now what we have to do, what is import now, right? So in the function model you have something like import, import, then we have export, then we have change, changing, then you have tables. If you understand import and export, others are easy. Okay, anyways, others are easy if you understand import and export. This is what we have in a function model, right guys? All of you, do you agree? These are the tabs that you see, right? One is import, export, and changing, and also the tables tab. Yes or no please? This is what we have. So import is not looking good. Okay, so now if you want to get the data, if function module has to return data, you have to pass some value, right? So whatever the data that you export from a program while calling the function module, that will be imported, that value will be imported to the function module. When you export any data from the calling program, okay, the function modules will be called in a program. When you export the data from the program, that will be imported in the function module. When you export the data from the program, sorry, from the function module, that will be imported in the program. Understood? Understood or not? Hello?
Yes. Yes.
But changing and also the tables act like both import as well as export. The difference I'll tell you. These two act like both import as well as export. Understood or not till now? Yes or no please?
Yes.
Guys, are we clear on this?
Yes.
So let's see, we will have import parameters now and also some export. Let's say I underscore matnr. So I means import, just an indicator. I underscore matnr, it is of type matnr. That means I'm going to import the material number to the function model, and I'm going to export the structure of Mara data, and here I'll say type Mara, and also export et underscore makd, or maybe I'll export yeah, makd should be fine, makd here. So it is actually, you see, tables parameters are absolute. So rather what we do is like inside import or export or in the changing tab, so instead of putting the table name directly or structure name directly, we define the table types. We provide the table types here. Okay, so you cannot use the type here, you have to use the like in the tables. Okay, if you are using, it's actually absolute, you should not use. Okay, but in case if you want to use, you can use the like. Okay, what happens in the tables tab, it always defines an internal table. You cannot have work area here, but In import, export or change, you can also have work area. This is a work area it defines because I'm using type and it is a structure. If I use table type here, this will be an internal table, okay, but in this case it's not like that. Even though you put structure here, that will be an internal table, okay. So next, you can also make it as an optional if you don't want to pass. That means it will be commented out, okay. You can when you call this function model, it will be commented, right? So in the changing, I'll just to showcase, I'll say c underscore text, some text we will change it. I'll just make it as string, okay. Inside this we will update the string, okay. So let's go to the source code and say select star from Mara and store this into es underscore Mara, where matnr will be imported matnr will be importing parameter. And you also have something like exception tab, okay. Let's say if there is no material found, you can say no material underscore found, okay. So this is size abasi 1, and you can also have some more exceptions, okay. No material exist, okay. So you can raise an exception, okay. If sy from subarc equal to 0, if in case subarc is 0, that means if material exists, otherwise raise an exception, raise no material found, okay. It will fill the size subarc value outside. Based on that value, you can also maintain, okay. So it should be select single. And if size subarc is equal to 0, select all the columns from MAKT table and store into table et underscore MAKT. So where matnr is equal to I underscore matnr if material exists. So simple function model, check for an error, no errors, and activate. How do you call this function model in a program now? Very simple, guys. Just copy this function model name and go to SE38. Observe now, whatever the importing we have, that will be exporting parameter in the program, because you are going to export some materials information to the function model, and from the function model you get all the material information. So maybe I'll just come down here, I'll comment it out. All this we will comment, and I'll just declare one parameter here, parameter p underscore matnr, type matnr. And next, this is how you call. Either you say call function and do it, otherwise you can click on the pattern button here and put the function model name and click enter. So it will be coming. You see, whatever the importing parameter that we provided here, that is coming under export. That means here we are going to export the material number, okay. So let's declare some variables also, maybe work area underscore Mara, type Mara, and it underscore MAKT, type MAKT, and one more lv underscore text, type string, okay. Value, I'll just say changing parameter, okay. I'll just keep it some text like this just to show you that can be changed inside, okay. Here we will receive the data to the work area Mara and also to the IT Mara, okay. If you want to import or export the internal table data, then you can use tables. Now you see, no material found exception is also coming. If we provide a wrong material, if it is not there, this is going to fill the size subarc value. If size subarc is not equal to 0, that means if it is 1 or 2, in that case we can raise or throw an error message here, okay. Let's do pretty printer, check for an error. It's saying type, it should be table of. check for an error and then activate. Okay, so this c underscore text can be changed here. I'll just simply put some text saying changed. Do pretty printer and then activate. So let's execute and see. Here I'll select some material which is exist, maybe from the search help. F8. Now you see guys, I'm going to export the material from the program. This is a program. Okay, I'm passing this material. Okay, right now we don't have any data here. You see work area Mara is empty, ITMAKT is empty right now, and also LV text is having value changing parameter. I press F5, it is going to call the source code that is exist in the function model, this code. Okay, so now you see the material that I passed from the program is imported here, right? For that I'm going to get the material data into es underscore Mara here. Okay, so and also the material description to et underscore MAKT, right? So this data will be exported back to the program. You see, so c underscore text was changing parameter, that will be updated back to changed, and the moment I go back to program, all this will be having the data. You see LV text is being changed from this value to changed. ITMAKT is having the data now that is imported from the program, and also work area underscore MARA as also the data. Understood? We are just passing the material number here. This function module is returning the material master data, all the material information. Okay, understood? This function module can also be called in multiple programs again. Are we clear on this? All of you understood how do we create the function module? Hello? Yes or no please? Any doubts so far? Okay, good. So now RFC function module, so it can be created same way. The only difference that we can see is, let me copy the same function model. I'll just copy and maybe I'll just say RFC underscore. Okay, I'll just rename it. So copy. The difference between normal and RFC function model, everything can be same. Here you have to select remote enabled. So once you select remote enabled, you see in RFC function models only parameter with pass by values are allowed, because RFC can be called in different programs, in different system, right? You cannot pass the memory address of EC system to the CRM, because both system will have its own memory. It cannot point to the memory address of ECC. You have to pass the value to the CRM system rather passing, or you have to pass the value from the CRM to ECC rather passing the memory address of the CRM. Okay, it won't work. You have to pass the value instead of passing the reference, that means the memory address. So whatever the parameters that you have to select the pass by value checkbox. Pass by value, and pass by value. This is the difference that you have to make when it is RFC function model. The code can remain same. Okay, just imagine that you're calling this function model from the ECC system, from the CRM system. Okay, how do you call it? Okay, either you can call it in like a same way like you're doing here. Everything remains same. The function model name is extra RFC underscore here, otherwise all same. And one more thing guys, if you are calling within the system, you can call it like this. Okay, if you are calling if you're calling from an external system, then in that case, if it is a CRM system and you're trying to hit the ECC, in that case you have to put a destination here and provide the destination here. Okay, so where do you get the destination for this? You have to check with basis team, otherwise SM59 is the transaction code where you can see the RFC destinations. You see ABAP connections here, you can see the RFC connections which is having, right? So local means within the system. S4 development client 800, right? Some RFC destination you can keep it here. Okay, this is how the function module will be called from an external system. Okay, this is going to hit S4 this client. Okay, so let me activate and keep the breakpoint and then execute. So which clients we have? Let's see, SE11 or sorry SE16N. Okay, only two clients, one is 00 and the one is 800. That's where you get RFC connection to the system. Let's execute and see. It will hit the same system, guys. I don't have two systems to showcase this to you. It will hit the same system. See, it's hitting the same server. I don't have two systems to show this. Same thing, all remain same. The only difference between these two is RFC can be called from an external server or external system. Anybody, any doubts till now? Hello, are we clear so far?
Yes.
Okay, so the last one is update function modules. Update function modules are used to update the database tables. These function modules support logical unit of work. How they support logical unit of work we will see. So, and update function modules, there are some more things. Update function modules cannot have export parameters. That means they run in a different session, so you cannot export the data back from update function modules. Okay, update function modules can only trigger when commit work statement executed. And next is update function modules run in different session. Okay, they execute in a different separate session. Okay, it will not be executed in the current session. That is not going to happen. So that will be executed in separate session. Let's go to SE37 and create update function module. Maybe we had a statement written earlier as modify. Yeah, if you remember, we understood about the DML statements, right? These statements usually will be written in update function models. We don't write this statement directly in a program because this cannot be, if writing these statements directly within the program, we cannot find the logical unit of work. Okay, it's little difficult to handle the logical unit of work. That means if any of the statement is failed, we don't have to commit the changes, right, to the database. In that case, it should not be committed. If any statement failed, it should not commit the changes to the DB. It should skip the changes, right? It should not work. So that cannot be handled in this way. Okay, that can be handled in the logical unit of in the update function models. So how do we do that? Let's see. ZUPD underscore SOHDR underscore B20. I'll just create update function module, sales order header, and maybe I'll just store it in package update custom table. and save. Okay, so now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to import maybe the data type for this table. Importing structure is SOHDR. I'll just create this, and here also pass by value is mandatory because these two will run in a separate session, so you cannot export the data, you cannot have the changing parameter here. And source code, let's say just have one statement, modify. I'll just use this. Okay, and maybe we will have a breakpoint. Do pretty printer. Not from the table, from the work area. Check for an error, activate. And maybe I'll create two function models so that I can show you how it will be called. SOHTR. I'll just say Z. I'll copy of this function model. We'll create copy of it. Copy this to Z. Okay, why I'm doing this? So that I can debug and show you what is happening behind the scene when you call update function model, so that you will have a confidence. Let's go back, and maybe I'll just copy this. Or copy this code. We don't need to have the append statement, rather we will pass the work area itself. We'll call it multiple times. Okay, so how do you call the update function model? You can either use a pattern, you know that, otherwise just say call function, and here put the function model that you're trying to call. Maybe first time we will call without Z, same function model, no difference in that, but I want to call it twice. And then here you pass the data, right? And here you have to mention in update task. This is how you call update function model. So everything remains same. Again, I'll just put Z here, and again one more here without Z. Okay, so and after that there is a breakpoint statement. So do pretty printer. These function models will never be triggered unless you say commit work. Will not be triggered. Commit work. When you say rollback, the data that is stored in what was the table name I told you last time? VB something VB. Whenever we call the update function model, the update function model will be stored in this table, something VB mode table. No, yeah, VB mode table. Okay, so to delete the entries in VB mode table, we have to do rollback. Okay, this will not be executed unless you say commit work. When you say rollback, the entries in the VB mode table will be deleted. Okay, so let me show you right now. There are no entries, sorry, no values found, but you will see values right after executing this. Okay, so let's activate this first of all, and then let's see. So now guys, you just observe here, I'm going to press F5, but modify statement will not be executed. You see what is happening behind the scene? Whenever I call the update function module in update task, this is what happening. It will actually store the data. You see, I press F5. There is a mistake that I made. While creating this update function module, I have to mark update function module here. That's a problem. That's why the dump is coming. I forgot to mark it as update function module, so it's giving me a dump. So again, here there are two types of priorities, V1 priority and V2 priority. V1 means start immediately, that means the moment commit work, like V1 and V2. I'll show you that in the debugger. Okay, so V1 update function modules will be executed first, then V2 function modules. V2 means low priority. Okay, so let's go back again and run it one more time. So now the entry might have been stored, created, no entries. Okay, that's fine. So let's execute it again. Now you see, I'm going to, maybe the settings are also been enabled already. Yeah, it's been enabled. I press F5. It's going to call this program to store. You see, the moment I call it, you go back and execute. Why? Sorry. See here, I entered the function module in a wrong order. It should be there. Okay, no problem. So execute it again. I'll keep breakpoint here. You see, the modify statement is not at all being executed, right? So what it is going to do, it is going to store basically this will be stored in a table. Next again here. Why it is? Alright, let's go back and execute now. Why? Okay, so now let's do commit work and see what happens. I say commit work. I'm just debugging the standard program to showcase behind the scene what is happening, but I don't know why it is not taking me there. Okay guys, maybe here. High mode orders, no. Why? You see, it triggered and separate session actually. Now there are two sessions running parallelly. One is this, okay, where we are our program session. So the other one is this. This is a separate debugging session, right? See, first time it's getting the first data that we appended, this one. It is a separate session and our program is also running here parallelly. You see, update function models will always get executed in a separate session, but There is a problem why I'm not able to. I don't know why this system is behaving like this. Press F5. See, this is SOHDR. Okay, here. Okay, yes. It is here. This is what I was trying to find. You see, guys, what happens here? In this table, we call that function module 3 times, right? One is Z, other this is 2, right, everyone? Able to see this? All of you? You see what system has done? See here. 1, 2, 3. Right? So what it is do behind the scene, it will loop one by one function module and call that function module dynamically here. Here. You see. It's going to call these function modules dynamically here. Inside this. See? Perform VB function, the function module name, the program, and also using VBID. VBID will be having this timestamp data and all. See, that's how the update function modules are actually called. So behind the scene, it stores in the table, and that table will be looped or executed only after the commit statement. Otherwise, this will be cleared out. Are we clear on this? Any doubts? See, it has been looped actually. Understood? Hello? Okay, I think it is too much for you now, but it's okay. But what happens, like, basically behind the scene, it stores these function modules in a table. Later that table will be called, okay, to fetch the function module names, and those function modules will be looped one after the other. That only happens when there is a commit work statement. If there is no commit work, then these function modules will not be executed at all. So by this way, it supports logical unit of work. Understood or not, all of you? Guys, are we clear on this? So far so good?
Yeah, but it requires some practice, I think.
Because the standard code, right? We debugged standard code. Understanding standard code takes lots of time. Okay, now interview questions. What is difference between function modules? When update FM will trigger? And here what is difference between parameter interfaces? Yeah, I think these questions will be asked on this topic. So that's all guys for today. We're done till here, and one more session will be able to complete the debugging, and we're done with 50%. And from the next class, once debugging is done, we will understand about reporting. Okay.